Getting breaking news right now from, there's been a big revelation on Khalistani terrorist Nijjar. That's Hardeep Singh Nijjar, who was killed in a gang fight in a Gurdwara in Canada. And over whose death there's now erupted a huge row after Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said India had a hand in his death. And Nijjar was put on a no-fly list in 2019. He was a flight risk in the United States, no less. And he was put on a no-fly list in the year 2019. And joining me on this is Senior Executive Editor of Republic TV, Abhishek Kapoor. Abhishek, if you could take our viewers through these breaking news, explosive revelations about Hardeep Singh Nijjar, and something that India has been trying to stress and again, that he was no activist, he was a Khalistani terrorist.
Yes, absolutely. And, this flies in the face of what Justin Trudeau has been trying to impress, that that Hardeep Singh Nijjar was a peaceful Canadian civilian and he was killed by some Indian agencies or agents. But, the fact of the matter is he was a terrorist. He was a designated terrorist in India under the UAPA. His organization was banned. And Rukma, we have to see these pictures of him with all these guns and with him firing in Pakistan. We saw the chronology coming out yesterday from sources that 1996 is the year when he went to Canada, and 2015 is the time when he got Canadian citizenship. So he was living in Canada illegally for 19 years, and the same Canada who cannot take care of its illegal immigrants now is telling India that he was a peaceful Canadian citizen. Now, the timing is also important of giving citizenship to Nijjar in 2015. 2014 is the time that Interpol had issued a red corner notice against him and him being a terror threat. And now this is big. The fact that the United States also thought that he was a terror threat and his name was put on a no-fly list clearly suggests that a dangerous precedent is being set, and in fact, this information buttresses India's claims that what we are seeing is Canadian indulgence with terror. What we are seeing is Canada essentially becoming a haven for terrorists, and with all the holier-than-thou posturing that is being done by Justin Trudeau, the fact of the matter is that he has really pawned the India-Canada relationship to his own narrow political objectives. Hardeep Singh Nijjar being on the United States no-fly list. Now, remember why no-fly lists are prepared. It is prepared for people who are dangerous, people who are not good to fly, people who can jeopardize air safety. And the United States followed very strict norms post 9/11 to make sure that no repeat of a similar terror incident happens, and which, in fact, has succeeded. So, obviously, the fact that Hardeep Singh Nijjar, even if it was briefly, found his mention in the no-fly list of the United States clearly shows that even the U.S. agencies were really tracking Hardeep Singh Nijjar and his activities and found them to be suspicious, not just suspicious, but dangerous and involving terrorism possibilities. And that's why he was put on the no-fly list. I hope the Canadian authorities watch this and respond with some evidence of why they say that Hardeep Singh Nijjar was a peaceful plumber working in a Gurdwara in Canada and carrying out langar activities, and not the terrorist that he was. And if he was so peaceful, why was he put on a no-fly list in the United States in the first place? So I think this is a big, and we'll see how the Canadian authorities really respond to this, given the fact that they have tried to put a veneer of a peaceful Canadian citizen being killed on something which is essentially about Canadian indulgence with terror and providing safe havens to these very extremist ideologies which jeopardize India's territorial integrity and sovereignty.
Abhishek, ever since, Justin Trudeau made those explosive allegations in the Parliament, in the Canadian Parliament no less, how do you look at his rhetoric since then? His phrase "credible allegations," for example, and the fact that there's no evidence still on news is that the police have not even been able to pinpoint Nijjar's killers. And there are no names as yet in that regard, and so on. Also, all various other details. How can Canada deny them?
Well, exactly. So I think that's what I'm saying, Rukma, that this does not end here. The fact that information coming in that Nijjar was on a no-fly list, not of Canada, but of the United States, also really puts a question mark on what Justin Trudeau is peddling as information or intelligence coming in through its Five Eyes network, which includes the United States. Apart from that, of course, the United Kingdom and Australia and I believe France. So what is important is that this information really calls the bluff of Hardeep Singh Nijjar being a peaceful civilian targeted by Indian agents. He was a terrorist and dangerous enough to be put on a no-fly list by the United States. And it is hoped that if Justin Trudeau and his administration has an element or an iota of integrity, they would respond to this information which is coming in that Hardeep Nijjar was a dangerous threat and to be put on a no-fly list of the United States.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Abhishek. Well, many thanks, Abhishek, for joining us there. So, explosive revelations that Nijjar was put on a no-fly list by the United States in 2019. He was regarded as a threat on aeroplanes and was thus put on a no-fly list. There was also a red corner notice against him. And we'll have to wait and watch how Canada responds to that as this diplomatic row between India and Canada over the death of Hardeep Singh Nijjar.